Hello, I am Wicked Nick Wagner. Now this is the type of video that I'm going to try to avoid and also probably never make again. But I would rather make this video now to be looked back on in the future than in the future make a video looking back on my first ever MMA event that I ever officiated. Throughout the night, the first fights, you could just see me in the background throughout a lot of the clips. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just standing back there with my clipboard. Basically what I'm doing is I'm checking to make sure they have their cup, their mouthpiece. Obviously very grainy because it's zoomed in, but like I said, before they walk, I'm just making sure they have their mouthpiece, make sure they have their cup, And while I'm back there, while I'm working as an inspector, that's what I was doing. I was just making sure, they had all their equipment, there was nothing wrong, and their gloves were wrapped properly, they had their nails trimmed, stuff like that. Again, I don't want to break down inspecting too much, but that's what I was doing, just basically checking to make sure they were good to go and they had their stuff to go. But the last two fights of the night, the co-main and the main event, they were both title fights. So like I said, for the co-main event, I followed him to the ring, and then afterwards I went around, once he was in the cage, I went around, and then I sat behind his corner to make sure they weren't doing anything they weren't supposed to be doing. The only really things that I did that day, and this is slowed down a little bit, but one of the cornermen stood up, put their fingers in the cage. It took me a while to realize that, but yeah, I stood up and told him to get his fingers out of the cage. There was a few times where this corner specifically grabbed the cage, it wasn't on purpose. If coaching next to a cage, you have the instinct to grab it, but that's what I was doing. I was just making sure, you're not grabbing it. And also you have to have your butt in the seat the whole time, so they stood up most of the time, sort of like this one is. There was 10 seconds left in the round, so those guys go to stand up. The two of the coaches go stand up to go around into the cage so that they're ready right when the round ends to go in. The third guy just stood up, and you can even see me actually, again, not the best quality. You can see him stand up in the white, and then he puts his hands in the cage, and you can see him go like this, backing away because I'm behind him telling him to stop. But yeah, again, not a really big deal. I'm just kind of like I said, my first show ever. There's not much footage of me, but I just wanted to, just show it. Why not? And then for the main event, I actually followed the guy into the ring, and I actually went inside the ring. It was my first show, but the commissioners or whatever, they felt comfortable letting me do all that stuff. So I went ahead and went into the ring. Look at me just standing there doing nothing. And yeah, I'm just standing there in the ring, making sure everything's going well. I'm kind of just watching my fighter, making sure nothing's wrong with him. Nothing's, everything's how it's supposed to be. And yeah. When I go in and touch gloves and the ref's talking to him for the last little bit, I just walk up, there I am. He started working the body a lot, the guy that's in my corner, and he got knocked down from body shots, and he ended up getting the TKO there. The only thing I did, you can see me briefly, is when someone gets TKO, the doctor has to go in first. I did stop his corner from going in. That's, again, not a big deal. It's kind of in the moment. Obviously, your guy just won. You want to go in there. All I did was the doctor and his head coach kind of went at the same time. I just stopped the head coach. Yeah, you can see me kind of briefly raise my arm before the camera pans away from what I was doing. And again, that's just one of those small things you don't really think about what's going on behind the scenes. As the doctor has to go in first, so you just got to make sure there's someone there to stop anyone else from going in first. And that's what I was doing that day for that one. So yeah, the doctor goes in, cage doors closed until the doctor clears the other guy, and then the corner can go in. Here's me standing there again. This is after the fight's all settled down. Just kind of standing around waiting for them to get his gloves and then give them back to me. But yeah, we hand the gloves out day of, and then you can either buy them after the fight, or you give them back and we'll just give you that ID back. Anyways, you can actually hear me on footage, it's crazy, say that, yeah, we have it in the back.
You got the ID.
And then as there's a bunch of people in there, I'm just kind of awkwardly standing against the cage, but this coach is super close to me. And I was just trying to get out of the way. But yeah, so then it pans off and then, not really good footage anyways. The links to all those fights in that event and I guess to the channel in the description, go check all those fights out. It was a nice, good promotion to work for. It was a good first event for me. But again, it might not seem that important, but looking back, I think someday it'll be kind of cool to see my first ever event. So again, that's why I'm making this video now. I don't want to make videos about the events I work in the future at all. And to speak of what I've been doing on this channel recently and what I kind of stopped doing, like the stats and like judging and my opinions on certain things, we're kind of prepping me, because I went to California to do, to get my certifications for my inspecting, my referee, and my judging. And also, again, I went to take some classes to kind of understand how it works. And a lot of those videos I made were kind of helping me prep for that, so I can get in the right mindset, and so I can, just kind of learn and make videos about what I've been learning. So I'm going to be getting back into making those videos, those style videos. I'm not going to make stuff that's really opinionated. So I'm going to kind of just strictly stat videos is what I'm planning on, but we'll see how it takes it. Or if I do any athletics myself, like any judo or MMA, I might put it on the channel as well. That's kind of what it was switched over for. All right, and then to end this video, I'm going to open up a package that I got from Pasadena recently. Just came in the mail. Yep, and here it is. My certification for inspector, certification for judge, and certification for referee courses. I passed all 3 of them. Congratulations to me, I suppose. But yeah, I took a Herb Dean's course. It's got this whole picture on there and everything. But yeah, that's all. A little bit of an update to what I've been doing. A lot of the video ideas that I've had in preparation for the class, I got from you guys telling what you guys wanted to see and asking questions and stuff like that. And I believe the communication between like MMA fans online to help grow the knowledge in the sport and the stuff in the background that you don't really see too often is very important to the growth of the sport, because it is relatively a new sport. Anyways, any information that I learned along my journey, I'll share with you guys. And that's about it. Yeah, I really don't know how to end videos. Really. Hey, leave them alone.